In this video, you will be learning about SOQL queries in Salesforce, how to write a query, how to filter the query, and how to sort the query results. Now, before learning SOQL queries, it will be good if you have a little bit of an idea about Salesforce objects and their fields and relationships. You can watch my other videos on the data model, so you know what objects we are working with while writing the query. So let's begin with what exactly is SOQL. SOQL stands for Salesforce Object Query Language, and it is pronounced as Soql. Soql makes it simple to retrieve the data from Salesforce by writing a query. To write a Soql query, you need to know what data you want to retrieve and from where, from which object in Salesforce. If you are familiar with SQL or working with databases, you would already know how to write queries, select field 1, field 2, field 3 from so and so table. Soql also works in a similar manner. So to get started with writing a Soql query, go to the setup icon and open the developer console. In the developer console, click on File, Open Objects. Now select the object that you want to query. In this case, let's go with account. Double click on account or open, and it shows you all the fields that exist in account object that can be used in your query. At the bottom of the developer console, you'll see a query editor. If you don't see this on your screen, just click on the up arrow here or here, and it will display the logs, tests, checkpoints, query editor for you. Click on query editor. This is where you would enter your SOQL or SOSL query. And it also gives you a little bit of a format. It says select columns from object or type, and it has got some optional parameters like where, find, in, etc. But instead of writing the query, what I'm going to show you is how to directly create a query by selecting the fields from the object. So let's say for account, we want to display the ID. Click Control on your keyboard, and then with your mouse, click on name, the other field that you want to select. Let's say we want the type of account, record type ID, and yeah, let's go with these 4 fields. Once you have selected the fields that you want from your object, click on query. This creates the query in the query editor. So what we have is select ID, name, type, record type ID, which are the fields that we selected, from account, which is the object that we want to query. Now that you have the query, click on execute, and that gives you the results of the query. So let's look at the basics of this Soql query syntax. The mandatory clauses are select and from. The simplest Soql query will be select fields from object. And that's what we have done here. And it pulls out the data from that object and displays it in the developer console. So it shows us the query results, total rows 20. The next step, let's try to filter the query results. So some of the ways to filter the query results is, one is you can use limit. So if you want to limit the results to 5, let's say if you're testing stuff and you want to display a limited amount of data for testing, you can use this keyword limit. If we execute now, it just shows us the first 5 records. The other way to filter queries is you can use the where clause. So select fields from account where name equals baselink. Now if we execute the query, it will show us only the records which have baselink as the account name. Another clause you can use is where name like something, and then use percentage to denote the wildcard character. In this case, the query has returned all the accounts which start with United and have any characters following that because of this percent sign. In your where clause, you can also use operators like or, and in order to combine your query results. So in this case, we are asking select fields from account where name equals baselink or name like United. So this brings up all the records where the name is either equal to baselink or it starts with United followed by any other characters. You can think of other scenarios. So for example, you can think of a scenario where we are selecting accounts where name is like United percent and billing city equals New York. If we execute this, it will bring us the records which start with the word United and have the billing city New York. Another operator you can use is in. So here we are selecting fields from account where name in a list of names. Execute this and it brings us the results. So that's how you would filter the results by using either the where clause or the limit. Where is more granular, which gives you more control in terms of what records are actually brought out. Limit would just bring the first few records that you indicate after the limit word. Now let's look at how to sort records. In order to sort records, you would use the keyword order by, and let's order by name. So that brings us an alphabetical list of query results. There you go. So select fields from account, order by name. So it is sorted the results by names from A to Z. By default, it shows you ascending results. You could specify you want ascending by putting the ASC keyword, or you can reverse the sort order by putting DESC for descending. And if you execute this, it reverses the order of sorting. So let's try doing this on another field. So here we are selecting the fields from account and order by billing city. It lists the records in ascending order and it shows us the nulls first. Now there's a keyword which will help you to put the nulls last. If you execute this, it shows the records sorted by billing city alphabetically, but it puts all the null billing cities at the end of the query result. By default, it is nulls first, but if you want to specify, you can put nulls first in your query. You can, of course, combine your sorting and filtering. So you can order by nulls first and then say limit 5, and let's put nulls last, so it shows us records with a billing city. These are some of the ways that you can write a simple Soql query. What you need to remember is the required clauses are select and from. So select field name from object. That is the simplest query that is possible in Salesforce. I'll follow up this video with more advanced queries that you can write in Salesforce. So look forward to seeing you back in the next videos, and do subscribe to this channel.